Hello dear viewers, welcome back again in Glittering Biology with your Bio Guru Alok. Hope you all are fit and fine along with your family and just doing your studies properly without observation of teachers. Here once again I am along with you with the new topic of your chapter, that is the molecular basis of inheritance from the unit second, that is genetics. Till the previous lecture I told you about the different special features of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. According to syllabus, after that we need to study about the difference between the DNA and RNA. So we need to know about the RNA also and its different types. So today's topic for the discussion is related with the RNA, that is ribonucleic acid. As we know that is this RNA is also considered as a genetic material in few viruses, and on the earth whatever the total other living organisms are present, there we are just considering the DNA as a better genetic material, as we have got two experiments in the previous lecture to prove that DNA has the better quality to represent it as the genetic material. Here in the ribonucleic acid, what it is, it has following features with in the comparison of DNA, and on the basis of these features you can just differentiate between the RNA and DNA. So we can say that RNA is another nucleic acid which is present in the nucleus as well as in the cytoplasm. It also plays an important role in protein synthesis and formation of the ribosomes. What is the structure, basic structure of ribosomes? Just have a look for few points related with the structure of RNA, that it consists of single polynucleotide chain and exists as single strand. In the DNA we were just talking about the double strands. Here there will be the single strand in the along with the single polynucleotide chain. This polynucleotide chain consists of ribonucleotides, and which contains ribose sugar, a phosphate radical, and one nitrogenous base. In the previous lecture, I told you that what is the formula for the ribose sugar and what is the formula for the deoxyribose sugar. I told you that there is only the one oxygen molecule less in the deoxyribose, and the empirical formula for that ribose sugar is what? That is, can you tell me? That is the C5H10O5. Then nitrogenous bases, what we had discussed earlier, they are classified into the purine and pyrimidine. So here what it is, in the pyrimidine there is a change, that adenine, guanine, cytosine remain same, while on the place of the thymine there will be the uracil. They these nucleotides are also four types on the basis of these nitrogenous bases, and they this RNA does not follow the Chargaff rule. Means, as earlier I told you, there in the DNA whatever amount of adenine was there on in the double strand of DNA, the anti-parallel strand will also having the same number of thymine, and whatever amount of the cytosine will be there, same manner there will be the guanine present. But here the Chargaff rule is not as follows as in the DNA. Its guanine contents are not necessarily equal to its cytosine contents, and similarly that is also followed by the adenine whenever it is going to be bond with the uracil. Various here in the ribonucleic acid, what it is, various ribonucleotides in RNA are also joined together by the phosphodiester bonds, to form polynucleotide chain. And the chain of RNA strand has well defined in one end will be the 3 dash while the other is the 5 dash. So this is the basic structure of this RNA. You can just see on page number 281 here it is written the catalytic RNA are called as the ribozymes. Means if the RNA is doing the acting as a catalyst in any process, then that condition will be just considered that RNA will be also called as the ribozymes. This is given about the entire structure and whatever the special features of that molecular structure of that ribonucleotide. Now later on, types of ribonucleic acid. What are the different types of ribonucleic acids? Many types of RNA molecules, and but the three types of RNA occurs in all types of cells. These are rRNA, means ribosomal RNA, tRNA, transfer RNA, mRNA, messenger RNA. These three are very important and prominent in all the types of cells. They are playing a very important role during the protein synthesis also. So one by one we will just talk about these three types of RNA. That messenger RNA is also called as the nuclear RNA. Transfer RNA, it is also called as the adopter RNA, and ribosomal RNA is also a very important type of RNA. If I will just tell you that what it is the RNA doing in the any cell, then one by one we will just take the types of RNA and discuss in brief about that one. Like if I will just select the most important type of RNA, that one is the rRNA. That is quite common in prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic cell. Its location is found in the cytoplasmic content of eukaryotic cells. And what is the main function of that one? It is the unit through which the structural and functional components of ribosomes are prepared inside the cell. While whenever we'll just talk about the second type, that one is the messenger RNA, or it is called as the nuclear RNA. It is again, it may be present in prokaryotic as well as in the eukaryotic. But whenever we will just analyze this one in the eukaryotic cell, it will be just found inside the nucleus and the cytoplasm. What it is doing, it carries genetic code for the proteins. As the name is messenger, messenger means it is just transferring the messages from one to another. And the third important type is the transfer RNA. If we will just take that one, then in the transfer RNA we need to just talk about that in the eukaryotic cells it is found into the cytoplasm, and it helps in the incorporate amino acids into the polypeptide chain. Means from the single code of amino acid it helps in the formation of different complex proteins or the polypeptides inside the cell. Beside that, we can just keep few more categories of RNA. That is, small nuclear RNA can be written as the small snRNA, found in the eukaryotic cells only, and in the eukaryotic cell, nucleus is the main site. It is just doing the processing of pre-mRNA. Processing of pre-mRNA, whatever the information must be carried through the mRNA, that one will be processed by the snRNA. Then a small nucleolar RNA, snORNA, that one is also found inside the nucleus of the eukaryotic cells. What it is doing, it is related with the processing and assembly of the rRNA. Means it is just helpful for formation of the ribosomal RNA. MicroRNA can be represented by the miRNA. It is the another type of the RNA, which is found in the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cells. It inhibits translation of mRNA. Translation process we will discuss later. If we had already not discussed it, then we will get it again. Then what it is, next it is a small interfering RNA, siRNA. It is again found into the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cells. What it is doing, triggers degradation of the other RNA molecules. It triggers degradation of the other RNA molecules, that is called as the small interfering RNA. But out of these all, you need to just talk about the rRNA, mRNA and tRNA. So first of all, I am just going to talk about the mRNA, as it is mentioned in your book. That one is the messenger RNA. What the main features of that one, just look in your book, that it constitutes about 10% of total RNA of the cell. This RNA is synthesized from the DNA, which contains message for the formation of proteins. It is synthesized as a complementary strand of DNA. This process of RNA formation is called as the transcription. This word will be also introduced among you. Transcription, what it is? Here it is, synthesized as a complementary strand of DNA, and this process of RNA formation is called as the transcription. Later, whenever we will just talk about the central dogma and Lacoperon model, there these two words, translation and transcription, will be just repeated over there. Now, RNA is copied from the DNA. It carries the same genetic information as contained by the DNA. In eukaryotes, the newly transcribed mRNA are highly unstable because they carry both coding exons and non-coding introns, nucleotide sequences. Due to this, they are better called hnRNA, heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Next, it is given how they are working in your book. It is structure of mRNA, it is given there. Just have a look. Fully processed mRNA molecule has following parts: a cap of methylated guanine, G cap, you can just see in the figure, at its proximal or 5 dash in, that is proximal in, at a start codon or initiation codon, AUG and CUG. Underline these two, AUG and CUG are the initiation codon, always next to the G cap. You can see in the diagram, start codon is given there. Then a long coding region, a long coding sequence is given with the green color. Then a termination codon, UAA, UAG, UGA. These are the termination codon which are just finishing the process of synthesis at the end of coding region at the 3 dash end. A poly, a tail of many adenine containing nucleotides, are also present over there. A small non-translated or non-coding segment may be present after the G cap and before poly a tail. The non-translated sequence at 5 dash of mRNA is called as the leader because it precedes the start of initiation codon. The non-translated sequence at 3 dash in is the tail. It follows the termination codon. That is given about the mRNA in your book. So later of this one, just next type of RNA is the transfer RNA. Transfer RNA, what it is representing, or it is called as the adopter RNA. Here the model whatever is given along with this transfer RNA, that one is very important. It is just named as the clover leaf model of tRNA. If anyone is asking about the clover leaf model of RNA, then basically it is asking about the tRNA. So what are the features related with the tRNA? They are the smallest type of RNA, serves to transfer amino acids from the cytoplasm to ribosomes for protein synthesis. Transfer RNA means it is just carrying the information from one place to another place for the protein synthesis, and helps in the synthesis of proteins in the nucleus, but are transported to the cytoplasm. Therefore, these occur in cytoplasm. tRNA forms about 10 to 15% of total RNA contents of the cell, and it is all having the almost similar structure in eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. tRNA are 75 to 80 nucleotides long molecule, and their sedimentation coefficient is 4s. There are about 60 types of tRNA. At least 20 types are present in every cell. Total number of tRNA, whenever it will be asked in a cell, then it will be minimum 20 types of tRNA must be present in every cell. That is based on the 20 types of amino acids, means individual one tRNA carries the information for specific protein inside the or specific amino acid. tRNA exhibits extensive folding and intramolecular base pairing. Their general structure, which one is which one is known as the clover leaf model, that was provided by the R.W. Hawley in 1965. It tells the presence of acceptor arm, anticodon arm, T silent, C arm, D arm, and an extra arm. These are the different parts which are just present along with the clover leaf model of tRNA. Clover leaf model shows the secondary structure of tRNA. Further folding of this structure gives a tertiary structure which is L-shaped. Means it can be modified. This structure, whatever you are just looking at the right hand side of your page, that one is the secondary structure. Further folding can be turned it into the L-shaped structure. So this is about the tRNA, and now after that it is given on the next page each and every arm how it is working. Like the second arm we have on the next page, that is DHU arm or the dihydroxyuridine arm. Third arm is the anticodon as it is written there. D arm or DHU arm is the same. Here what it is given in the DHU arm, it has stems of 4 base pairs and ends in the loop containing modified base dihydroxyuridine. It has an enzyme recognition sites by which it binds to the specific amino acid activating enzyme. Means it is just binding itself with the amino acid activating enzyme, that is the D arm or the DHU arm. Then anticodon arm, it is just the lowermost arm. It lies opposite to the acceptor arm. It has a stem of 5 base pairs with pseudouridine and a loop. The loop has definite sequence of 3 nitrogenous bases complementary to some triplet codon of on mRNA. This sequence is called as the anticodon UAC, and the codon for that one is against the U there will be the adenine, and against the cytosine there will be the guanine. This sequence is called as the anticodon. The first nucleotide of anticodon is a wobbler base of either I or the pseudouridine, which can pair with the more than one base in the corresponding codon position on an mRNA. Now the next one is the T epsilon C arm, that it has the site for the attachment to the ribosome. Its 5 base pair long stem contains nucleotide sequence, and modified base present in the tRNA are formed by the methylation of normal 4 bases. For example, inosine is derived from the adenine, and pseudouridine and dihydroxyuridine from the uracil. That is about the that tRNA. Now the next type, which one you need to talk, that one is the ribosomal RNA. It is the most common. These constituent more than 80% of the total RNA contents of the cell. Along with the ribonucleoproteins, these form the main body of the ribosomes. They have fixed sedimentation coefficient, that is the Swedberg unit. On this basis, these are of further classified into the two types, 70S and the 80S. Here in the prokaryotes, they are of 70S type, and in eukaryotes, they are of 80S type. So, what will be the difference among these two? That in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, you have already gone through with the types of RNA. 5S RNA is common to the both eukaryotes as well as the prokaryotes, means it is further classified into the different part, and out of these 4 there is a 5S RNA which is common to both eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. In eukaryotes, all RNA are synthesized inside the nucleolus except the 5S RNA. It is 5S RNA therefore has an extranucleolar origin. In prokaryotes, all RNA are synthesized in cytoplasm from the DNA because there is no nucleus, and rRNA has the high degree of secondary structure. About 70% of it becomes double stranded and helical due to the intramolecular base pairing. That is the another important feature for the rRNA. The rRNA molecules are highly methylated and packaged with the specific ribosomal proteins. These double-stranded regions form a hairpin loops between the complementary regions of the same linear RNA molecules. Sometimes RNA can act as a catalyst, like 23S RNA of bacterial ribosome act as an enzyme, and here it is called as the ribozyme. So that is about the all types of RNA. Here on the next page it is given about the function of the RNA, that mRNA, tRNA and rRNA, what they are doing for the cell. You can just note down that, and later on it is given about that different types of RNA along with difference between the DNA and RNA. Just note down this one specifically on your notebook with at least 4 points, which one you learn easily. That's it for today. Just prepare notes related with this one, and we will meet on the next lecture with a new topic of same chapter. Thank you everyone.